And here's what's going to happen. They're going to call me. Not going to be any good. They didn't give me any money. They didn't take care of me. I don't need it. I don't want it. I couldn't care less. And I'll get a call from the head of Ford. Nice guy, very capable guy, as you know. The new head, the old head was great. The new head is great. Great people. He's going to say, Mr. President, we have to get this done, blah, blah, blah. It's really good for trade. Yeah, good for trade. You know who's trade? Their trade, not our trade. And I'm going to say, no, I'm sorry. Then I'm going to get a call from some lobbyists. I say, you didn't do anything for me, and I'm not doing anything. I only care about one thing, making America great again. That's all I care about. Okay? That's all I care about. So my only question, I only have one question, is do they move the plant in the United States the same day, or will it take maybe a day later? Because that's what's going to happen. It's not even a doubt, okay? And we'll end up with a plant in the United States, and we'll create jobs, and that's what we have to do, because we're just losing so many ways. We don't have victories anymore. We just don't have victories anymore. So let's look at another thing. Let's look at this horrendous deal that we're making with Iran. Now think of it. Think of it. So here's a problem before we even start. Even if the deal doesn't get approved, and believe me, I think it probably will. I think Schumer, who I'm very close to Israel, but Schumer comes from New York, very close. I have a great relationship, far better than our president has, that I can tell you. But who doesn't? I think Schumer did it with a wink. Not a bad guy, smart guy. Used to be a friend of mine until I did this, and I said, look, all bets are off. Look, I got to do what I have to do. I'm sorry. But I'll be able to get along with these people. You know, you got to be able to get along. You got to make deals. We can't always sign executive orders. The country wasn't based on executive orders. I mean, you got to get deals. So I pretty much believe, I mean, I really know the New York scene. I think they gave Schumer a little wave off. They said, look, you go ahead, oppose it, and this way you're friendly. And he has a large Jewish constituency, to put it mildly, the largest. And they said, look, you go ahead, go against it. We're going to win by, one vote or something anyway. And this way you can have either that, or they're going to really take away all his power, one or the other. But I think it's the first. I think he probably got a pass, and I think that's the way politics works, and it's not so nice, but that's the way it works. But you take a look at this Iran deal, and this deal is one of the more incompetent things that I've ever seen. It's going to lead to nuclear proliferation. You're going to have countries that weren't even thinking in terms of nuclear are going to go nuclear. You're going to have money thrown around, and they have plenty of money in plenty of these countries, believe me, big, big money. You're going to have nukes all over the place where you never thought. This whole thing with, there are a couple of things. Number one, here's bad. And I heard this the other day, and I couldn't believe it. The $150 billion and the billions and billions of dollars that go to Iran, if the deal doesn't get approved, they still get the money. You ever hear this? You ever hear? They still get the money. Okay? Think of how bad this deal is. We gave up everything. For what? We should have doubled and tripled up the sanctions and negotiated a real deal. Now, the 24-day catastrophe, right? 24 days. What people don't realize, before the clock starts ticking, you have to go through a whole process, like a mediation. It could be forever. It could be forever. And I could just see they're doing nukes all over the place. They get the notice. They fight them here, keep fighting. Then the 24-day. By the time you get in there, you have a nice, beautiful space like this, except the floors will be painted nicer. Battleship gray, beautiful. There's no nukes in here. Battleship, you know what I mean? When I was little, I used to always paint my garage floors battleship gray for my father. Battleship gray. They'll be beautiful, nice, shiny battleship gray. It's so crazy. And one of the things that nobody understands, and especially me, I wrote The Art of the Deal. Has anybody read The Art of the Deal? So, one of the things I don't understand, we have 4 prisoners over there. Used to be 3, now it's 4. Actually, when this long negotiation started, it was 3. Since the negotiation, this is the longest negotiation. Did you ever see a negotiation last so long? Right? Oh, he's got The Art of the Deal. Hold that book up, please. Okay. One of the great books. That's my second favorite book of all time. Do you know what my first is? The Bible. Nothing beats the Bible. Nothing beats the Bible. Not even The Art of the Deal. Not even close, okay? But you say to yourself, how do we have these 4 people, was 3, now 4? How do we have it? So at the beginning of this negotiation, first of all, you got to increase the sanctions. Then they say, oh, the other countries wouldn't do it. Well, it's called leadership. You got to get them to do it because this deal is crazy. And you know, those other countries are very much, they need us for lots of things. We have a lot of strength with those other countries. But, you know, when you get them and they say no, who wants this deal? This deal is a disaster. So what happens is you increase the sanctions and you let them know we're not ever giving you the money back. The money's never coming back. Okay? The money we're keeping. Okay? You're keeping. And, you know, people are saying, just like the wall in Mexico, these stiffs, these politicians, they're stiffs. You know what a stiff is? Stiff is a person, I've seen these wealthy people in the front row. You know what a stiff is? A stiff is a person you will not hire. That's what a stiff is, okay? And these stiffs, they say, isn't it horrible? Trump says about the wall. Or Trump says he won't give them the money. Isn't that ridiculous? And now they say, we didn't want to ask for the prisoners because they thought it would be too complicated and would complicate. Think of this. By saying, here's what you do. You walk in. By the way, shouldn't be at the end. Should have been before the deal started. The end is like sort of a stupid thing, right? So you walk in a couple of years ago, long time. I mean, it's forever. World's longest deal. And by the way, this is called tapping. Tap, tap, tap. You know, the Persians are great negotiators. A lot of bad stuff has happened during this 2 years, believe me. A lot of things are being discovered over there. And it all has to do with nuclear. During the tap. I do that too with the deal. I don't know if I want it. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Tap, tap, tap. I tap these poor guys along. Then I say, yeah, the market's not so good. I'll do it. I won't do it. They're tapping us along. They're tapping us along. So now I say to myself, on the prisoners, fellas, and I mean literally in 2 minutes I would have had them out. I say, fellas, I would have had them out. I would have had them out. I mean, we have a guy named Kerry. I think he's actually probably a nice guy. He's 73 years old. He goes into a bicycle race, and he breaks his leg. I promise you that I will never enter a bicycle race during a major negotiation. So I would have said, let's say it's me instead. Probably would have gone and do this one myself. I'd say, come on over to Washington. Let me tell you something. You don't want them. You don't need them. Your people don't care about them. We do. It sets a good tone, you know, to use a Bush term. It sets a good tone. Really nice. If you would give us the prisoners, before we start, we want to get the prisoners. Just let them out. Bum, bum, bum. Everyone's going to say you're really nice people. You'll be able to make a better deal if you let them out. Let them out, and let them out now. And if you don't let them out, we don't want to even negotiate. Because you know what that is? That's like a sign of bad faith, right? If you can't get that. So they would give it. I don't say as sure as Ford. I gave that 100%, right? I would say this 99%. But if they didn't give, we don't even start. And then we just ratchet it up, being more sanctions, right? That's right. I love that lady. She keeps holding up that art of the deal. I love her. But we just keep ratcheting it up. They will give them, and we'll make a much better deal than we made, and we'll have a real deal. And I love the idea of a deal, by the way, because nuclear is a whole different world. That's big, big problems. You know, that's the biggest problem. The worst thing we have in this world that we're living in today is the tremendous power of nuclear and weaponry. Nobody ever had power like this before. You look at Hiroshima, that's a tiny fraction of what they can do today. So I'm all for that. But the worst thing that can happen is a bad deal. That's far worse than not having a deal. The worst thing we can do is a bad deal. And this deal is beyond bad. This deal is incompetent. It's incompetent. So I would get the prisoners back, and I would make a great deal. And you know what? They'd be happy. I'd be happy. We'd all be happy. We will be proud of our deals. You know, one of the magazine said I've done a great job with branding. Now, of course, it's a lot easier when you're not running for office. You know, this branding when you're running for office is a little tough, because if you get 55% of the people love you, 45% don't. That's pretty good. You win in like a massive majority, right? But they say I've done a good job with branding, and somebody said, boy, if you could do some branding for the United States, because we have a country where the brand has been so badly hurt. Think of it. The brand, this great country that we love. A friend of mine spent a lot of time in Czechoslovakia, which was a communist country. And see, a lot of people, Czechoslovakia. And they used to be so proud of the United States. And while that country was communist, people would take dollar bills and $10 bills, and they'd put them on the windshield of their car to show how proud they are, how much they respected the United States. I said, I never heard that story. He said, yeah, you'd go around all over these communist countries, and they were so enamored with the United States that they'd put money, bills, on the window with Scotch tape, and they'd put them on, and they were so proud to have it in their car. You don't have that anymore. We don't have that anymore. We have so many problems. Obamacare is a disaster. It has to be repealed and replaced. And we can have such a good system. Obamacare, do you see what's happening to your premiums? They're going through the roof, 50%, 55%. You look at what's going on with health insurance. You look at what's going on with everything. It's just not working. Our country isn't working. The good news is we have tremendous potential. But if we don't get going quickly, we're never going to be able to bring it back. It's going to be too far. One of the things we have to do, I'm in the real estate business. I'm always getting listings, a base is for sale, something's for sale, a military something is for sale. It's always military. I say, are we going to have anything left? Are we going to have anything left? Take a look at how many bases they've sold. One of the things we have to do is build up our military so strong and so powerful and so powerful that nobody's ever going to mess with us. We'll never have to use it. We'll never have to use it. And we can do that. We have the great technology. We have everything. But we're not doing it. We're cutting back on military, which is probably one of the worst things. You know, it's interesting. We would make it so powerful that, yes, it will cost money. But if we don't use it, we'll save a fortune because we won't have to. Putin, who I would get along with very well, I'll be honest with you. He can't stand Obama. Can't stand him. Can't stand him. I actually get along very well with people. People say, oh, is he a nice enough person? A woman comes up the other day, and I made a speech, and everybody was going crazy, and she got up and said, but Mr. Trump, do you think you're nice enough to be president? Are you a nice person? And I said, I think I am. I love people. I love charity. I love a lot of things. I think I am. But I said, but you know what, ma'am? I really think this is going to be an election. People are fed up. This is going to be an election on competence. It's competence. It's going to be an election based on competence. So I want to build that military so strong where Putin 2 months ago said something I never thought I'd hear from Russia, from a major country. He started throwing around the nuclear word. He said, essentially, they better not play around with us too much. We're a nuclear power. We have nuclear weapons. I couldn't believe I was hearing it. Just the mention of it was so bad. And our weapons, we don't even know if they work. To show you how stupid we are, they did a major television program, 60 Minutes, I don't know if anybody saw it, where they go into the silos. The stuff is old, it's rotted, the phone systems don't work, the wires going to the phones are all, they don't even know if it works. And I said, if I were Obama, I wouldn't be showing that. I wouldn't be showing it. And they got in there because Obama wanted people to see how bad it is so that maybe they could get some money to fix it up. How stupid is this? Our enemies are looking at this stuff with 44-year-old phones and wires that don't work. And they're interviewing the people that are working in these phone systems. And they're saying, no, you can't hear. You can't hear. And I'm saying, can you believe what we're doing? It's like in the war. They were saying, we're going in 2 weeks and we're going to be attacking a certain city. You know what I'm talking about. And we're going to attack, and this is the way we're doing it, and we're going here. And I'm saying, can you imagine the great General Douglas MacArthur or George Patton, any of these great guys, listening to a president say exactly what we're going to be doing? Then I said, that's smart, because they'll do the opposite. They didn't. It was exactly as he said. So, with ISIS, can you believe we can't beat ISIS? No, can you believe it? So I didn't want to say, because I really think I'm going to win. I mean, I'm an optimist. I think And by the way, if I do win, speaking of military, I'm going to take such great care of the vets. The vets in this country are absolutely, it's a disgrace. Two weeks ago on Wednesday, they had the longest wait in the recorded history of the vets, waiting in doctor's office. And in one case, somebody waited for 5 days. 5 days. Think of it. Look, we're really spoiled, most of us. We go to a doctor. If I have to wait 12 minutes, I'm like incensed. I'm going, what kind of a doctor is this? And these are people that can be really helped through the right pill or the right medicine or a small operation. We're not even talking about the big stuff. They had to wait 5 days. In one case, a man waited 6 days to see the doctor. And when he finally saw the doctor said, I can't see you, I'm going on vacation. No, think of it. No, think of it, how bad it is. And this is our politicians, all talk, no action, politicians in Washington. Okay? They do nothing except talk. And the money we spend is incredible. It's like the money we spend on the vets is incredible. We can take such great care of them. I'm going to make that one of my priorities. The military, the vets, and jobs. And jobs. And believe me, I know how to do it. I know how to manage. I know how to manage. Because it's management. But we're going to take care of these people. We're going to take care of this country. This country is going to be great again. We are going to make this country so strong, so powerful. You're going to be so proud to be a citizen of the United States. So, just in closing, it's been an amazing ride for me, because everybody, all these pundits, most of them, like these guys, they make $500,000 to sit on television and make predictions. But they all said, that why would anybody want to vote for Trump? And I'm saying, well, what are you talking about? It's just like The Apprentice. When I did The Apprentice, everybody said, well, why would anybody want to watch The Apprentice? Women will never want to watch it because why would women want to watch Donald Trump? I'm saying, am I so bad? Tell me. And the show became one of the most successful shows. It became #1 for many, many evenings. The finale of season 1, season 2, season 3, one of the biggest shows of the year. Tremendous. Just like the debate, right? It's like The Apprentice. The debate was The Apprentice. Somebody said, oh, we'd rather not have Trump in the next debate. You know who it was? My competitors. I don't blame them. I said, you got one problem, the television networks, because it's called ratings. But it's like The Apprentice, and then The Apprentice became this big success, and one of the critics said, well, that show won't work. And you know, it was just signed to a one-year contract, and everyone figured it would fail. Well, it went on. It became this tremendous monster, and I was very proud of it. And I saved the reviews, I saved all of the stuff. It's the same thing now. And by the way, NBC, just so you understand, NBC hates me. I made them a fortune. But you know why they hate me? Because at the upfronts 4 months ago, they renewed The Apprentice. They gave it a big, beautiful renewal, 28 shows. I think it was 28, but a lot. That's a lot of money. Because in my documents, you saw that I put down how much money I make with The Apprentice. $213 million they paid me. Can you believe that? That's a hit. That means I'm a star. That's a star. No, think of it. And nobody, but that's what I made. I mean, you know, I have to certify these numbers, 213. So now they renew The Apprentice, and I said to them, the head people from NBC came up to my office, and the head people from Comcast, NBC, and the reason I tell you this, they're going to check every one of these statements, the press. And if I'm wrong on any, if they weren't up, there's going to be a headline tomorrow, the Comcast never came. By the way, the head person at Comcast, you got it? And the head person at it, they came up to my office like 3 months ago, and they said, we renewed The Apprentice. I got a call from Mark Burnett, who's a great guy, from Survivor, et cetera, et cetera. And he's the guy, we did this thing together. He said, Donald, they renewed you. You're the only guy that isn't taking a renewal for a major primetime show. I say, Mark, I'm going to run for president, and I'm going to make our country great again. That's it. So, NBC is very angry at me, but here's the good news. I am really enjoying what I'm doing. I love meeting the people. I love meeting the vets. I love meeting the military. I've been meeting people that I would have never met before. I love people. I love this country. We are going to make it so strong and so powerful and so respected all over the world. We're going to bring our jobs back. We're going to bring our money back. We're going to save Social Security. You are going to love President Trump. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.